The night the stars forgot to shine. Once, long ago, in a world stitched together by dreams and dust, there was a village called Star Hollow. It sat at the foot of the Skyreach Mountains, where the air shimmered with chill and the pine trees whispered stories in the wind. What made Star Hollow unlike any other place was that it never had lamps, lanterns, or candles. The villagers didn't need them, because every night, without fail, the stars lit their world. The stars in Star Hollow were not like the distant, trembling lights in other skies. They were bold and brilliant, dancing in patterns, forming glowing animals and trails of silver fire. The villagers believed the stars were the spirits of the sky, watching over them, guiding them, protecting them from the darkness that lived beyond the mountains. And so, every night, when the sun dipped behind the snowy peaks, the villagers would climb to their rooftops or lie on the frost-covered meadows, whispering thanks and stories to the stars. Then, one night, they didn't come. It began quietly. An early winter hush hung over Star Hollow. Snow rested gently on rooftops. The villagers gathered, as they always did, with mugs of warm berry tea and honeycakes in hand, expecting the sky to erupt in light. But the stars did not shine. The sky was still, cold, empty. At first, the villagers waited, believing it to be a trick of time or a delay in the heavens. But as the night stretched on and no stars came, fear crept like frost through their hearts. The children whimpered. The elders sat silently, clutching charms they hadn't touched in years. By morning, the village was abuzz with worry. Why hadn't the stars appeared? Had they grown angry? Had something stolen them from the sky? And who would bring them back? In a crooked little house at the edge of Star Hollow lived a girl named Mira. She was 12 years old, with a crown of tangled curls and a heart too big for her small frame. Mira had always spoken to the stars. She didn't just whisper to them like the others. She sang to them, shared her secrets with them, even named them. Her favorite was a bright blue star she called Leora. Each night, Leora had twinkled above Mira's window like a winking eye, keeping her company as she dreamed. But now that star, too, was gone. Unlike the grown-ups, Mira did not sit and wait. She laced up her boots, tied on her warmest cloak, and packed a satchel with bread, dried berries, and a lantern she had never needed before. "I'm going to find the stars," she told her grandmother. The old woman's eyes were dim, but wise. She nodded. "Then you must go to the moon spire. That's where the sky begins." Mira set out before noon. The path to the moon spire was long and winding, twisting through forests of silver-barked trees and frozen streams that sang when the wind passed over them. Snowflakes the size of acorns drifted down, but Mira didn't stop. She climbed hills where wolves watched from shadows and crossed bridges guarded by ravens who asked riddles. She answered them all and was allowed to pass. At dusk, Mira reached the base of the moon spire, a towering cliff crowned by a lonely tower that scraped the belly of the sky. It was said to be the place where stars were born and where the sky's threads were mended when they tore. The wind howled as she climbed, but Mira's heart burned brighter than fear. Inside the tower, she found a room full of mirrors and moonlight. And there, sweeping the floor with a broom made of comets' tails, stood a woman in a gown of silver clouds. Her hair floated like mist, and her eyes held entire galaxies. "Welcome, child," said the woman. "You are braver than most." "Are you the Star Weaver?" Mira asked. The woman smiled faintly. "I was, until the stars forgot how to shine." "Why did they forget?" The Star Weaver sighed. "Because someone stole their song." The stars, she explained, were not simply light. They were woven from songs, ancient melodies sung by sky dwellers and dreamers alike. Every whisper, wish, and lullaby added a thread to the star's glow. But someone had stolen the last thread, the heart note, the first song ever sung, the one that held all the others together. Without it, the Starweaver said, the stars cannot remember who they are. Then we have to get it back, Mira said. You must, said the Starweaver. But beware, the heart note was taken by a creature called the Null. It lives in the void between, where no dream dares go and no light ever returns. I'm not afraid, Mira lied. The Starweaver touched Mira's forehead. A soft hum filled the air. Then take this. She handed Mira a shard of moonglass, cool and glowing with soft light. This is a memory of light, she said. It will guide you when nothing else can. To reach the void between, Mira had to step through a mirror. Not just any mirror, but one that didn't reflect her face, only her fears. As she passed through, the world turned silent. No wind, no warmth, no time. The void between was a place of shadow thoughts and forgotten names. It was cold, not the cold of snow, but the cold of loneliness. Mira walked on nothing, through nothing, toward nothing, until she saw a flicker, a light, a song, and then a shape. The Null was not a monster in the way Mira had imagined. It was a child, or it had once been. It had eyes like burnt stars and a mouth stitched with silence. It sat cradling the heart note in its hands, a small, trembling orb that pulsed with faint rhythm. You're the one who stole it, Mira said. The Null blinked. I didn't steal it. I kept it, because the world stopped singing to me. Mira understood then. The Null had once been like her, someone who loved the stars, who whispered wishes. But it had been forgotten. No one sang to it, no one wished on it, and so it had fallen through the sky and into shadow. Give me the song, Mira said gently. Let the stars come back. The Null looked at the heart note, then at her. If I give it back, will anyone remember me? Mira knelt beside the creature and held out her hands. I will. The Null placed the heart note in her palms. It was warm and alive, and as Mira held it close, she began to hum. A simple tune, a lullaby her mother had once sung. The heart note pulsed brighter. The silence cracked, then shattered. And all at once, the stars remembered. Mira awoke at the base of the moon spire, snow melting around her. The sky above her blazed with light, more stars than she had ever seen, a river of gold and silver and blue threading the heavens. She saw Leora wink once again. The stars had returned. She returned to Star Hollow, where the villagers wept with joy and danced beneath the sky. Children laughed, elders sang, and Mira, now called the Star Caller, told her tale by firelight. But she never forgot the Null. Each night she sang one song just for it, a whisper of light into the dark. And somewhere, beyond the edge of dreams, a forgotten star flickered into life once more.